Have you ever noticed, sometimes the woman next to you doesn't say a word, yet somehow you feel like she's trying to tell you something? Women have such a unique, almost mysterious way of communicating. They don't always use words, but their eyes, their posture, even just a subtle tilt of the head, all of it speaks volumes. These are quiet signals, whispering messages, if we're paying attention. In today's video, we're taking a closer look at those signs, those small gestures that carry big meaning. Because when we learn to understand a woman's body language, we're also learning to truly listen, with presence, with mindfulness. And mindfulness, that's a core value in the Stoic lifestyle. Stoicism reminds us, life is about understanding ourselves and others. It's about focusing only on what we can control and letting go of the rest. If that way of thinking resonates with you, go ahead and hit subscribe to Stoic Station and tap the bell icon so we can keep growing together on this journey. If today's video helps you, drop a 1 in the comments to let me know you're here. If it didn't quite vibe with you, that's totally okay. Just type 2 so I know what to improve. All right, let's dive into the first sign. The language of lips, silent yet irresistibly alluring. Let's start with something you've probably noticed before. A woman's lips. Sometimes she might gently bite them or unconsciously run her tongue across them. It seems subtle, maybe even random, but it's not. This often happens when she feels drawn to someone, when her emotions stir in ways she may not fully understand or want to reveal. It's the body's quiet response to desire, a soft bite, a slow lick, a hidden pull. Not just nervousness, but maybe a way of containing the intensity she's feeling. Because when a woman plays with her lips, it isn't just to look seductive, it's a silent language. Her body, speaking the attraction her words won't say out loud. And remember, lips are one of the most sensitive parts of the body. So when hers curve into a slow, knowing smile, or she bites down just slightly, eyes locked on yours, that's your cue to pay attention. She might be sending a message, not in words, but in pure emotion. Sign number 2, touch, a wordless invitation. In the world of emotion, touch is a language that doesn't need words. For women, it's never just contact. It's connection, it's curiosity, it's intent. When a woman feels drawn to you, she might start to touch more often. And these moments? They're rarely accidental. A hand resting softly on your shoulder, a brush of fingers on your arm, that lingers. Or maybe something more intimate, a quiet touch to the inner thigh. It's her way of saying, I want to be closer. At first, those touches are feather-light, a fingertip, a palm, barely there, but very much on purpose. And as she begins to feel more connected, those touches, they grow bolder, more frequent, more intentional, because women use touch as a test, not a game, but a way of feeling your energy. If you meet those gestures with presence, with calm, and without rushing things, you're telling her, you're safe here. I see you. Even the smallest touch can carry a powerful message. So be still enough to feel it, and wise enough to know when she's saying something only your heart can hear. Sign number 3, the sway of the hips, the quiet rhythm of emotion. You've heard people talk about a confident walk, but when a woman's feeling a certain kind of way, that confidence doesn't just show in her smile or her eyes. It lives in the way she moves. One of the most subtle yet powerful signs, the sway of her hips. When she feels at ease, when she's feeling herself, her body responds naturally, without effort, without planning. She moves with a quiet rhythm, a gentle confidence that radiates from deep within. Her curves speak in motion, especially through the hips and pelvis. It's not a performance. It's not for attention. It's a silent melody, a wordless message. I'm open. I'm feeling something. Most women don't even realize they're doing it. That fluid, almost hypnotic walk, it's the result of feeling comfortable in her own skin. When she moves like that, it's not just about appearance, it's about presence. It's her body saying, I'm here, in this moment. And if you're still enough to notice, you'll see dash. Sometimes the body speaks truths the voice is too shy to say, and in that silence, there's something real. Sign number 4, the eyes, the silent window of desire. They say, the eyes are the windows to the soul. And they are, especially when desire begins to bloom. If a woman is drawn to you, her eyes will tell you, long before her lips ever do. The clearest clue. Her pupils dilate. It's involuntary, instinctual, a raw physical reaction to attraction, to excitement, to you. But it goes deeper than that. It's the way she looks at you. When she's feeling something real, her gaze lingers. She might hold your eyes just a moment longer, or glance at you when she thinks you won't notice. And sometimes she'll look, then look away, not because she isn't interested, but because the feeling is too intense, too real, too vulnerable. Even in a crowded room, her eyes will find you. And when your eyes meet, there's a pause, a moment suspended in time, a silent pull that says, come closer. She might create these moments too. A warm, lingering stare, or a dance of glances that always returns to you, like you're her anchor, her gravity. And here's the truth, eyes don't lie. In that silence, in that one look, there's an invitation, subtle but powerful. And if you're really listening, it'll speak louder than words ever could. Sign number 5, playful teasing, an unspoken invitation. Not all body language is soft or subtle. Sometimes it's bold, it's playful, it's her own way of making the first move, without saying it outright. A light nudge on your arm, a mischievous smile, paired with a cheeky wink, a quick tap on your shoulder as she teases you. These moments, they're not random. They're her way of testing the waters, as if to say, I'm interested, but are you sharp enough to notice? Playful teasing is one of the most charming forms of flirting. It's fun, but it's also intentional. When she's in the mood, these little gestures become more frequent, more familiar, more focused on you. Maybe she taps your chest while laughing at something you said. Maybe her joke carries a double meaning, half compliment, half challenge. It's not just about making you laugh. It's about grabbing your attention. It's about saying without words, I see you. But here's the part that takes awareness. You've got to know the difference between casual banter and something more. If her teasing carries a pause, if her eyes linger a little longer, if her touch has a softness behind it, a hesitation that feels more tender, then this isn't just fun and games. This might be her way of saying, I like you. But she's waiting to see if you can read between the lines. The wise move. Don't rush. Don't dismiss it. Notice it. Let your awareness answer her subtle question without needing to say a word. Sign number 6. Subtle shifts. When silence speaks the heart. Not every sign of attraction is loud. In fact, some of the most powerful ones are whispered through stillness. A woman may not flirt openly. She might not laugh the loudest in the room or find reasons to touch you. But if you're paying close attention, you'll notice something shifting. She leans in just slightly when you speak. Not dramatically, just enough to close the space between you. That's her body saying, I want to be near you. She might start mirroring you, your posture, your tone of voice, even your energy. This kind of unconscious mirroring, it only happens when she's truly drawn in. Maybe she tucks her hair behind her ear more often, or subtly angles her body to face you. Maybe she chooses the seat closest to yours, even when the room is full of options. These aren't grand gestures. They're quiet invitations, unspoken threads, gently weaving connection through presence. And if you're still enough to feel it, you'll recognize it for what it is. Her body is whispering, "I feel something here. I'm not ready to say it, but I hope you see it." In Stoicism, we're taught to listen to what isn't said, to see the truth in silence. This ... is one of those moments. The tilt of her body, the flicker in her gaze, the way she honors the space between you. That's where emotion lives. That's where connection begins. Not with words, but with presence. Sign number 7, the hair flip, silent but powerful seduction. Some signs are so subtle they slip right past us, but once you learn to see them, they speak volumes. One of the most underrated signals? The way a woman touches her hair. At first, it might seem like nothing. A casual tuck behind the ear, a soft twirl around her finger, or that effortless flip over the shoulder. But if you really pay attention, you'll realize it's not just a habit, it's a signal. When a woman is attracted to someone, she often touches her hair more. Not to be flashy, but to subtly draw your eyes to her movement, to her presence. It's soft, feminine, intentional. Even when she's not doing it on purpose, this small act carries an ancient instinct. Her body's way of highlighting her most graceful, alluring features. And when she flips her hair, it often reveals her neck, one of the most sensitive and sensual parts of the body. It's her body quietly saying, "I'm here. I want you to notice me." Sometimes that flip is paired with a shy smile, a fleeting glance, a soft laugh. And when it is, that moment becomes a silent invitation, not just to come closer physically, but emotionally too. In Stoic philosophy, we're taught to find meaning in the quiet, to see the truth in the small things, and a simple hair flip might just be one of the clearest, most honest signs. That attraction is beginning to bloom. Sign number 8, the slow, gentle smile. When emotions speak louder than words, a smile can mean a lot of things. Politeness, courtesy, even a mask to hide behind. But some smiles are different. When a woman feels something real, her smile isn't rushed. It's not automatic. It's slow, gentle, like a soft breeze you almost didn't notice, but can feel deep in your chest. There's a tenderness to it, a softness in her eyes, maybe even a slight tilt of the head. All subtle signs of warmth, of interest. And that smile, it's not for everyone, it's just for you. Her way of saying, "I see you, and I want to know more." It's not about her lips alone. It's the warmth in her gaze, the comfort in her presence, the way time slows for just a second when she looks at you. A smile like this doesn't shout, but it speaks. It says, "I feel safe here. I feel something. I want to let this moment last." If you notice it, don't look away. Don't rush past it. Let it land. Because in the Stoic art of living, we learn not to chase noise, but to find meaning in stillness. And a smile like that, simple, sincere, and slow, might be one of the purest signs of a true, growing connection. From my personal perspective, true attraction doesn't lie in striking looks or perfectly charming words. It lives in something quieter, something you can't touch, but you can feel. It's in the presence someone carries, a presence that doesn't need to prove itself, because it simply is. The body language women express, their gaze, their smile, a gentle touch, a subtle lean. These aren't random gestures, they're part of an unspoken emotional symphony. And to me, the truly attractive man isn't the one who tries to decode every signal, just to gain the upper hand. He's the one who's calm enough to notice, but not so eager that he gets swept away. He doesn't react impulsively. He doesn't assume. He doesn't chase meaning in a rush. Instead, he simply observes, quietly, respectfully, allowing the moment to unfold without forcing anything. Because in a world where everyone rushes to speak, to be seen, to be heard, the one who listens, really listens, to what's left unsaid, that's the one who truly understands. And that is the kind of man who's worth being moved by. A woman's body language is a soft, subtle art, and to genuinely feel it, I believe a man needs a certain maturity of spirit, not to conquer, but to connect, not to control, but to empathize deeply. So we've explored 8 key signs of body language, those silent yet incredibly magnetic signals women send when they feel drawn to a man. There's no need for bold declarations, no dramatic gestures, because a woman's body often speaks in ways that are subtle, honest, and deeply genuine. A gently bitten lip, a quiet, affectionate gaze, the softest touch, like a breeze passing between you, a graceful flip of the hair, or a smile that lingers just a little longer than it should. Every glance, every movement has its own rhythm, a silent song that only the present and the patient can truly hear. She may never say the words, "I like you," but her eyes say it, her gestures say it, the way the space between you begins to close. Says it louder than anything else ever could, and then you realize, when it comes to the art of connection between two people, the most authentic moments don't come from big displays. They live in the smallest details. Stoicism teaches us to view life through a lens of stillness, and it's in that stillness that real attraction reveals itself. Quiet, unforced, and deeply moving. By paying attention to the small, meaningful signs. A fleeting bite of the lip, a gentle touch on the hand, the unconscious sway of her hips as she walks, a gaze that lingers just a moment longer than usual, or a playful tease that feels both hesitant and revealing. You're not just witnessing physical attraction. You're tapping into something deeper, an emotional current that words can't always reach. A quiet desire for connection, to be understood, to feel safe in your presence. Because sometimes body language speaks louder than anything that could ever be said. And the person who truly listens isn't the one who talks the most or asks the most clever questions. It's the one who's awake enough to recognize when a woman is quietly opening her heart. So next time you're sitting across from a woman, don't just listen to what she says. Listen with your eyes, with your heart, with your full presence. Because then the question isn't, what is she thinking? It becomes, am I sensitive enough to notice what she's not saying, and strong enough to respond with genuine understanding? True attraction doesn't live in how you conquer, it lives in how deeply you listen.